Welcome everyone to another episode of Billionaire's Beginnings. Today's an important episode because we've officially hit $100 million made on our Billionaire's Beginnings account. It's been quite the journey, but I'm glad to say that I've enjoyed every single second of it, and I gotta say, I really do appreciate everyone's support on the series and the channel. It truly means a lot to me. And with that being said, in order to celebrate $100 million, we are going to be making money with every single major money method we've used in the series so far. As we go through them, I'm going to talk about some things that I learned about each money method and just playing the game in general, and hopefully some of that info will be helpful for new players and possibly veterans as well. So of course, the first business we did was the CEO Cargo Crate Warehouse. This is one that we did at the very beginning of our money grind. It was how we made the initial money that we used to purchase the Cayo submarine, which really propelled us forward in our money grind. This is actually a great way to make money as a beginner player, as the actual startup cost is on the cheap end, only $1.25 million. Of course, in order to run the business, you will need a CEO office and a warehouse, but once you get things going, it's actually pretty straightforward. Essentially what we're doing is we are stealing crates, bringing them back to our warehouse, and eventually selling them for a profit. And the way we do that is by going to our CEO office, doing a source mission with either 1, 2, or 3 crates, completing that, and then doing a final sell mission later on. So what we did was we went back to our warehouse and we did 3 sourcing missions each time for 3 crates, which is the most efficient way to do it. Luckily, we got some of the easiest sourcing missions, and then we also paid $7,500 for our assistant to go source us crates in the meantime. They ended up sourcing us 1, which gave us a total of 10 crates that we could sell. And I wasn't going to spend too much time on this business as it's not the best way to make money, but it was a good little throwback to get into. So we did complete a sale mission with 10 crates and made a decent chunk of change. I gotta say, this money method is by far one of the best ways to make money as a beginner, as it just has a low setup cost, and doing it gets you tons of RP so that you're able to level up pretty quickly and get access to more things in the game. So overall, great beginner business, but for where we're at right now in our series, it's not the best thing to grind unless it gets a big money bonus, which if it does in the future, we'll definitely make sure to grind some out. And as I hinted to earlier, the next part of our money grind was of course the Cayo Perico Heist. This is the best solo money-making method in the entire game, as it oftentimes makes you $1.3 to $1.5 million with just 1 hour of work. So of course we had to purchase the Cayo submarine, which goes for just over $2 million, but it was by far the best $2 million we've spent in the entire series. Now, of course, our first few playthroughs were pretty long and a little bit annoying because we didn't have any vehicles that could help us speed up the preps, but once we got that stuff, it made things easier. I gotta say, I've had a lot of fun with the Cayo Perico Heist. It is by far one of the most enjoyable and versatile ways to make money in the game, as you could change the different ways you approach the island, the different kinds of secondary loot you take, which routes you take around the island. There's so many variants to it, so it's a ton of fun to just play around with and enjoy the game while also making tons of money. Now, of course, with time, we figured out the best route to take, which of course is our regular route. This one is the fastest and gets us the most amount of money. So of course, the approach vehicle is the long fin and our infiltration point is the main dock. And that's because we're gonna head over to the hangar first. That's what we do. So we head over to the airstrip hangar, loot the hangar in there. There's 4 different loot spawns. And once we've done that, we then take the long fin over to the drainage tunnel at the base of the compound, enter the compound that way, go through our normal route to reach the office, and finally get the primary target before leaving the island off the edge with a motorcycle. I'll link a full guide in the description down below if you haven't seen it already, but this is by far the best way to do it. We've done it so many times in the series. It has made us tons of money, and the Cayo Perico Heist will always be a part of my money grind. Next up, we did some agency work. Now, of course, the agency is another staple business, just like the Cayo submarine and the Cayo Perico Heist, because the agency offers 2 of the best ways to make money in the game. The first one being the Dr. Dre contract, which is essentially a bigger and more elaborate heist. You have 3 mini heists within it, and then a few finale missions, and it earns $1 million and takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to complete. It's pretty fun for the most part, but because it has so many parts, it can get boring if you try to replay it over and over and over again, which is why we really only did it during its double money week. It was paying out $2 million and made it 100% worth it, so we made a lot of money with it then, but since then we haven't done it as much. And of course, for this video, the money method we're using from the agency is the second one, that is the payphone hits. These are simple assassination missions that take about 5-10 minutes to complete, and if you complete the assassination with the specified bonus, you can earn $85,000, which is crazy. These have a 20-minute cooldown, so you can't just spam them back to back to back, but they are a great little money grind to mix into any one of your daily routines, whether you're doing it between a Cayo Perico heist or auto shop contracts or whatever it may be. It's always good to get some of these payphone hits in, as they're just an easy and quick way to make money. And once again, these will always be a part of my money grind. The next business we picked up was the Nightclub, and this was acquired later in the series because there's so much that goes into it. So with the Nightclub, we're able to make completely passive income by assigning technicians to source us product, which we could later on sell for a profit. Now, of course, in order to maximize the amount of money we could make with it, we have to hire all 5 technicians, get the equipment upgrade, and then assign those technicians to 5 specific businesses. But in order to do so, we have to own a corresponding business in the game. The first business that we want to assign a technician to, of course, is going to be special cargo, which requires us to have a special cargo warehouse. The second one is sporting goods, which requires us to have a bunker. The third is South American imports, which requires us to have a Coca-Cola lockup, if you catch my drift. The fourth is pharmaceutical research, which requires us to have a blue stuff lab. And the fifth is cash creation, which requires us to have a counterfeit cash factory. If we have 5 technicians assigned to all 5 of those, they will earn us $50,000 every single hour in completely passive income because they're sourcing all the supplies for us. All we have to do is just one final sell mission at the end. But because we sold off all our stock in the last episode, I did the second money method with the Nightclub for this video today, and that is making money with the Nightclub while safe. Now, if you guys don't know, if you have max popularity with the Nightclub, which can be achieved in many different ways, I personally just hire new DJs. Every time you hire a new DJ, your Nightclub popularity goes up, but if it's maxed out, you will earn $50,000 every single hour, which will be deposited into your Nightclub wall safe. And here we collected a few hundred grand. It's by far the easiest money you can make in GTA 5. We have made millions of dollars this way, and of course, it is completely passive. The Nightclub will always be a part of our money grind, and that is because it is passive. We don't have to do any work for it. So we're always going to make sure that we keep it running, and it's going to be a great source of income going forward. And staying on the passive income theme, the next business we did was the Acid Lab. This is one that we actually acquired earlier on in the series, but it took us a while to get the equipment upgrade, which we needed to get in order to maximize the amount of money. And that's because, first off, in order to get the Acid Lab, we had to complete the 6 first dose missions, but in order to get the equipment upgrade, we had to do 10 Fooligan missions, which took some time. Once we did both of those, we had those going, we were then able to purchase supplies, which then were turned into product, which we could sell on for a profit. And this business is very profitable. Of course, we've talked about it before on the channel, but in order to fill up your Acid Lab with product, you have to go through 1.6 batches of supplies or $96,000, and in 4 hours time, you will get a full Acid Lab, which usually you could sell on for $335,000, but of course, for this episode, it was 1.5 times money, so we made just over 500 grand. The next business that we made money with is quite possibly the most enjoyable business to work with in the entire game, and that is the auto shop. And that's because it has 8 different auto shop contracts, which are essentially mini heists that you can do. And they're all pretty fun and pay out a decent amount of money. Now, of course, the majority of the money that we made with the auto shop was during its triple money event week, which was nuts. You can see in the bottom right hand corner here of the screen that we made like $20 million, and it was all within like a 4-day span, which is nuts. and I gotta say it was probably some of the most fun I've had playing GTA 5 in the past little while. And that's because I ended up playing through each and every single one of those auto shop contracts. Every single one of them had a blast doing it, and of course really focused in on a few specific contracts that paid out the most amount of money, but were also the most efficient and the fastest to complete. And that is precisely why I actually had a lot of fun doing it, because each time I completed these contracts, it was like I was finding a new shortcut to them or a new route to make things easier. It was almost like putting a puzzle together piece by piece each time we completed one, and that's what made it so much fun. Plus, the entire community was doing them. Everybody was sharing their shortcuts and new cool ways to do it, so it was a ton of fun to do. It was a great event week, and we made so much money. But for this episode today, of course, we did the best auto shop contract, which is the Union Depository contract, where we steal gold from the Union Depository. Normally, it pays out $290,000, and it takes about 20 to 25 minutes to complete. And with that, we have reached the final businesses for this episode, which of course are the MC businesses. Now, at the time of recording this gameplay, it was the event week where MC businesses were in essence quadruple money. Now, the MC businesses work just like the Acid Lab, where you purchase or steal supplies. Those supplies over time are passively turned into product, which you could later on sell for a profit. And this week, they were very profitable. Now, of course, I had the equipment and staff upgrade on all of them, which meant I could purchase supplies for $75,000. And then after only an hour to about 2 hours was the time frame, we had a full batch of supplies used up and turned into product. Now, there are 5 MC businesses that we can own and use and make money with, but the 4 that I focused on was the Coca-Cola Lockup, the Blue Stuff Lab, the Counterfeit Cash Factory, and the Grass Farm. These 4 are the best earning businesses and were making us millions of dollars. And of course, I learned from my mistakes earlier in the week, and instead of doing multiple sell missions, I just waited for them to be completely full, which only took a few hours. It was like 2 to 3 or 4 hours for them to completely fill up. Once that was done, I went on to sell each one completely full in invite-only sessions. So I decided to start off with the Grass Farm, which was a relatively simple mission. Most of these I got pretty easy missions for. We essentially only got the plane and the helicopter missions, which made stuff so quick and easy. So we completed that. Next up, we did the Counterfeit Cash Factory, which was in essence about the same amount of money. This was a crazy money bonus, so I hope you guys took advantage of this last week. After that, we then went on to do a Coca-Cola Lockup, which was over $1 million. Mind-blowing. If we sold that in a public lobby, it would have been way more, but I didn't want to take any chances considering we had a multiple sell vehicle. So we completed that Coca-Cola Lockup sale, and then we finished off with a Blue Stuff Lab sale, and that was it for all of our sell missions. Now, I gotta say, going back and making money with all these businesses was a true treat, because it really showed how far we've come in the series and how much we've really done. It's been insane. If you guys have been following along the way and have been following a similar progression to what I've been doing, I hope you guys have enjoyed yourself as well. It's been so much fun going through this process, and of course, this is nowhere near the end. We're going to continue the series and go for as long as we possibly can. I'm excited for the things we're going to do in the future. I still have so many ideas and so many things I want to explore. And that's a message that I want to give you guys as well, is don't limit yourself in this game. If I've learned anything from playing this game, it's that there's so much to explore in so many different ways. I mean, we have to remember this game has been out for almost a decade, which is pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. And there's been so much content added that sometimes it's good, especially as a new player, to go and just explore everything and see what you like, see what you enjoy the most. And if you're a veteran player, maybe go back and do some of those old grinds and see if you like any of it, or if any of it brings you back some nostalgic memories. There's still so much in this game to explore and see, and I'm really excited to take you guys along this journey with me. I've had an absolute blast in making these episodes so far, and I look forward to making more in the future. With that being said, that's the end of this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.